In 1350, what we know as the idyllic French countryside was a living hell. For more than 15 years, the people had suffered at the hands of English invaders. Little did they know that this war would last for another 100 years. But through this crucible of fighting, famine and plague, there would emerge the modern nation of France. England's King Edward III looked jealously across the English Channel. Wanting France for his own, he had added the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of France, to his own royal standard. This was an all-out declaration of war. And in 1337, he invaded. But France already had a king, Philippe VI. As the English burned their way across the land, Philippe's army and his legendary knights marched to meet them and came face to face with the English longbow. A simple weapon, but the most devastating the knights had ever faced. The heroes of France fell to storms of English arrows. The war engulfed the French countryside. By 1351, the conflict was focused on Brittany. One fight stands out as a spectacular display of chivalry and a symbol of the wider conflict between the two enemy nations. The Combat of the 30 is still commemorated here in Brittany. It was a dispute between two local families. Supported by the opposing sides in the war, the French and English commanders decided to settle it through a trial of knightly combat. Each side would choose 30 champions to fight on neutral ground. France prepared to defend itself against England's finest. Intent on ending the suffering of the French peasantry, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir sent a challenge to the English commander. 30 champions on each side would compete in a tournament for final claim to Brittany. With the battleground of the Halfway Oak agreed upon, Sir Jean set out to gather support from local knights. As a knight himself, Sir Jean followed the strict rules of chivalry and was expected to protect the local peasantry and ensure peace.
Si fait votre commandement! Si fait votre commandement! Armée et compresse! Glorieuse victoire!
Most medieval tournaments were friendly in nature, held for sport and glory, but the combat of the 30 was arranged between opponents mired in war. English raids had torn through the countryside of Brittany and brought great hardship to the people. Sir Jean spotted an English raiding party attacking a nearby farmstead.
Place, petit commandement.
Avant, compagnon, je cours au-dessus. Soyez express, compagnon. Restos express. Ensemble, chevalier.
The French knights defeated the English raiders, and Sir Guy de Rochefort joined Sir Jean's party.
Certes. Por vostro servicio.
Bien, c'est compris.
Looking to secure his honor, a young knight held his ground on a bridge in Sir Jean's path. Honorably conceding defeat in the duel, Sir Yves Charel joined the cause. Sir Jean's search next brought him to Sir Geoffroy du Bois, whose squires were contending with a detachment of English longbowmen. The knights would use the great speed of their war horses to charge the archers and overwhelm them. The English longbowmen fell, but the French knights knew the enemy would attempt to retake the hilltop fortification and steeled themselves for further attacks.
Chaskins, aide sa place. It's Vostok, en la voie. Et compresse. Compagnon, preste para agir. Compagnon, preste para agir. Comme votre place.
With Sir Geoffroy by his side, Sir Jean had secured the outpost.
Si fes vos commandements.
Un Ketchi, un Piela.
Reniez vos armes. J'obtenper aux habits. Comme vos plaist. Mectons nos en l'avoué. Metz vos donc en l'avoué. Oyez. Et comprens.
Sir Jean entered the staging area for the tournament, where he prepared to choose which knights would join him in battle.
Je suis votre serveuse.
Each knight would be accompanied by his squires, young nobles in training to become knights
C'est comme
themselves.
vos voldrez.
Aveillez voce. Vecchi come element.
Sir Jean had selected his champions. As the sun rose, the two sides entered the arena, ready for the first round of combat.
Place. Oyez. Comme vos plaist. Metz vos en l'avoué. Un Ketchi, un Piela.
Claiming an easy victory in the first round, the French champions left the arena to recover their strength.
Et comprens. Page. Vecchi come j'obtemper à Oxavitz. Oyez. Reniez vos armes. Si fes vos commandements. Bien savets quoque nos advienne, et comprens. Comme vos plaist. J'obtemper à Oxavitz.
Refreshed and reinvigorated, the French knights returned to the arena for another round of combat. The combat of the 30 was about to decide which nation would control the Duchy of Brittany.
Reniez vos armes. Mectons nos en l'avoué.
Triumphant, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir and his loyal knights claimed victory. The combat of the 30 had decided control of Brittany in favor of the French. Little did the two sides know, this was just the beginning of a bitter war that would outlive them all. After victory at the combat of the 30, the French faced devastating raids from England's Black Prince. But France's King John II was closing in. Jean finally caught the English near the city of Poitiers in September 1356. The French army outnumbered the English by thousands. King Jean himself joined the fight, but what seemed a certain victory for France soon turned into a nightmare. The English longbow devastated the mighty French army. An endless hail of arrows gutted the main French force. Then the English captured King Jean. The fight was over. The Battle of Poitiers was another catastrophic defeat for the French. The English had destroyed most of France's nobility in a single day. Now they turned their attention towards taking the French capital, Paris. The invaders marched unopposed towards Paris. The remains of some of the medieval walls of Paris still stand today. As the English army approached, the terrified locals sought shelter behind these defenses. Could France's capital withstand the full might of the Black Prince's army? The English Black Prince had raided the French countryside without mercy. And now his army had come for the capital. With the English on their doorstep, it fell to the French army and the people of Paris to defend the walls of their proud city. Hoping to avoid open battle, the French began fortifying the city, manning the walls and calling every available soldier to his post. As the French hastened their preparations, several detachments of English soldiers were spotted closing in on the city.
Oyez les ordonnances. Pour vos services. Advertence, tout le monde, à votre commandement.
Oh yes, tout le monde. Lors devant ce soleil. Announce. Of iguer puissance, manance. Oh, me faut trahir. Là, c'est moi exprès.
Oh yes, tout le monde. Lors devant nos alors. Oh, mais je dis, il trèche sans nul arrest.
Besoin à faire. Je veux ça mérite.
Un besoin. Baillez-moi besoin.
The English showed no mercy, burning their way to Paris via 3 routes, each of which was home to villages and farms that supplied the capital.
Besoigné à faire? Je vous savais que faut-il donc besoin?
Oil, mais s'il y a des que faut-il donc besoin? On me faut trahir, taillez-moi besoin, en besoin.
Oh, me faut trahir.
Longtemps.
Oui, d'accord.
Besoin à faire? Oui, il reste pas toute vie. Oh, me faut trahir? Oui, da. En besoin. Chivalry, Bastille. Que faut-il donc besoigner? Bonne besogne expect. Besoin à faire? Chivalry, Bastille.
Obéis, mon destrier Rimaigne.
Un besoin. Fouillez ma toute vie.
Ici, laisse commandement. Alors, ça m'armée.
Chascus en sa place.
Dicte-moi mon Versailles. Jameseyyy vos.
As the French continued to rally their army, the English took the last of the surrounding villages and had almost encircled Paris.
Compagnon, ici, laisse commandement. Comme il vous plaise.
Compagnon, reste pour la besogne.
Archers, les commandements viennent. Que ferais-je donc?
With the countryside in flames and the English at the city gates, the French armies steeled themselves for battle. Now came the capital's true test. Would the mighty walls of Paris hold against a fearsome English siege?
Que faut-il donc besoigner?
The Parisian guard raised the alarm as the English began their first assault on the city walls.
Archers, oyez, commandement. On ne guerpit, Archers. Oyez bien, compagnon.
Gensdarm vos giert. Oye. Compagnon, preste parade. Gensdarms, nos de guerpison.
Jameseyyy vos. Chivalry.
Besoigner à faire? Giovanni Basti.
Vayez moins besoin. Lors se bâtit de s'estuer.
Manuel Rassoudi. Belle œuvre.
Although the walls of Paris had been breached, the French could still hold the city, so long as its mighty landmarks did not fall. The French army fought valiantly, repelling the first English attack.
Réussi novels commandements.
Donnez moi. Je ride en vos volets.
Jameseyyy vos habillement. Avant au vestiaire. Compagnon. Ici, laisse commander, compagnon. Or advan. Ici, laisse commander. Nos despartons briemant. Oyez bien, compagnon. Nos allons. Advertance tout le monde. Tous de yal, Laurets.
Que faut-il donc besoin? Oil, si toast.
Acest bienoi. Compagnon, nos allons.
Un besoin. Lasseți-moi exploiter. Si fais exploitation!
À Obelestier, à point Obeleste comme il vous plaise. On va servir.
Homme, si fais exploiteur.
Mais ici, oui, ça parle. Alors, ça parle. Dictez, mais ça la voix, aime besoin.
Acest mai fort! Archer!
Obeleste bienoi.
Lors batige s'estui.
Dictez-moi une Versailles.
Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Besoin à faire?
Oyez bien ça, compagnon. En vain.
Eyets cur og jobtemper. Oyets vei acustresmus por despartir.
Compagnon, nos Despartans, brillamment.
Veici les commandements.
Acest Betsford.
Il n'y faut que la ville liquets vos arways.
Compagnon, ben ici, les commandements. Je gagne mon gage.
Bien, soignez vos armées.
Je veux votre vie.
Laissons
L'ennemi va s'agir! Compagnon, voir avant. Oyets les ordonnances.
Oil, mestier de bien, bien, veis.
Oyets, y vais exploiter.
C'est ce qu'on peut acheter dans le glanos.
The French defense of their capital held firm, wearing down the English invaders one by one.
Obeleste paré.
Soyez prest, avant, compagnon.
Attendez, dame Valette! Allons ça, Restus! Lorsque batige s'estui.
Prest comme vos plaistes.
Besoin à faire? Bien, bien, vaïs. Vécure mais rien. Oh, me faut trahir? Oyets les ordonnances. Veille à la mine.
Homme, oil, mestier de moi. Dostia Lorex. Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Aime besoin.
Ben ici, les commandements. Acest Betsford.
Marchiez rien moins, Restus! Pour vous servir!
L'heure est de besoigner.
Giovanni, si, comme volets.
Jameseyyy boss. Chivalry. Oyez bien, compagnon. Je gagne ou je gagne?
Grazie. Victim tempe. Avec ton snos sans l'avouer.
Archers, prenez vos armes, demeurez, Spoenslat Tukoi.
Attendez les commandements.
Avertissez votre compagnon.
Dites-moi.
À l'arme, chevalier! Les chevreuils sont prêts! Les chevreuils s'écoutent!
Arbalestière! À Jameseyyy votre arbalestre, comme il vous plaît! Arbalestre! À Jameseyyy votre!
Lancière et place. Lancière, gardez le vote. Au passe, compagnon.
Attendez les bandes, je commande! Chevaucheur, avant! À mon commandement!
Manans! En Cumin! Tous de Lauretz.
Compagnon! L'heure est... Je suis votre serveuse.
Chevaucheur, nos allons, chevaucheur.
Atzesmet vos, archière, allons le paiement.
Arbalestière!
Compagnon et comprense.
Attendez les commandements, Manans. Giovanni Bastille.
Incontinent.
Archers, archière en la voie.
Les Stars y pèsent vos commandements.
Arbelestre, obeleste au col. Avant!
Archers, les commandements de demeurer, Spoenslat Tukoi. Atzesmet vos, archers, si comme le volet.
Compagnon, oyez bien.
Courage, lancière, en ordre, si, sera affect. Oil, messieurs des mouets. J'exploite les réparements.
Bayez-moi besoin. Rappareillement en train.
Besoin. Je vais rapparier ce manouet. Oh, me faut trahir. Bien me plates out de champs.
Besogne. Lors bâti s'estui.
The enemy grew ever more desperate as their ranks thinned and their hopes of victory faded.
Besogne à faire.
Espagnols.
Oil, Certos. Envoy, quick on Gouin.
Besoin n'y a fait? Là, cette moi exploité. Pour vendre sa voix de Oil, Mestier des mouets. Chivalry, Chops.
Je gagne mon game. Oui, à Paris. Ça, compagnon.
L'heure est proche, je commande avant.
À Jameseyyy.
Comme vos blessed.
Baillez-moi besoin. Rappareillement en train.
Accespets vos, compagnon. Avertissez votre ennemis, compagnon. Soyez prest, compagnon.
Blaché.
Si comme vos voldrez.
Aveillez votre.
Oyez bien, compagnon. Alors, ça va, mais.
Attendez, je commande avant. Avertissez votre courage, compagnon. En votre service.
Envolez-tiez. Appointez de base.
Reste tous.
Compagnon. Prévoyez votre.
Anderson, chevalier.
Bien savez, quamque nos acquies.
Sommes une continent.
Jameseyyy vos habillement. Envolez-tiez.
Que bandit donc de poignet!
Anderson, chevalier.
Attendez les commandements. À votre commandement.
Chevalier, prête-moi. Chefs. Quand je commande, avant.
Annonce, au Bronston. Lorsque bâti, je...
Archer, on déguerpis. Archer. Archer. En avant.
Besoin de nous attendre, Manance!
Defeated and demoralized by the strength of the French defense, the Black Prince's army abandoned their siege of the capital. Paris celebrated victory, but this was not the last test the French would face in their struggle to win the war.